Going to see practically how we go about using SDL Trados. Very easy to use Trados. You should first of all keep in mind that Trados gives you a 30-day free license. It means that it's good to know this, that when you want to use Trados, if you install it on your laptop, you have 30 days to use the Trados. After the 30 days that you had all the functionality that were really okay, they will block it. You'll not be able to use it again. In case you want to be able to use the SDL Trados again, you have to buy the license. Or if you still want to use on that very laptop, you must uninstall that operating system and install a new one to have again a 30-day functional. And then you see that in the long run, you'll be forced to buy Trados. But now the question is, why is it really important to master Trados? Because this is, I think, the most popular CAD tool. As a translator, or even if you are dealing as a freelance translator, you cannot do without mastering Trados. And why can I really say this confidently? Because I know many translators that lost a lot of opportunities just because they did not master Trados. And over my more than 10 years of experience in this field, I understood that you cannot go without really having a Trados license. I mean that even if you are just struggling at the beginning, it's good to already set it as a goal that you need to acquire a Trados license. But it's also important to know that to get the Trados license, my advice will be not to buy directly from Trados. Don't buy directly from the company because it will really be very expensive. To get the Trados, you need to buy it through a reseller. And the guide, the link that is under, I'm going to break down how you go about acquiring Trados at a cheaper price. And the good thing about Trados is that once you acquire the license, it's for life. It means that if, for example, I buy Trados 2025, that Trados is for life. I may only need to upgrade it in the future. If maybe in the future they bring out Trados 2027, for example, if I see they need to upgrade, I may need to upgrade, but the price will not be really high. But even the 2025, you can use it for many years and it still be okay. I mean that just to have already that in mind, that Trados is something that you need to already know that you need to really be preparing to get the license. As I said, please just click on the link below and you'll be able to see how you go about getting Trados at a cheaper price. Once again, I repeat it. Don't buy your Trados directly from Trados. It will be very expensive. They have resellers that they recommend. And these resellers, they sell at really reasonable prices. And more to that, these resellers usually have periods where they do some promotions. And it's better to wait when those promotions are going on. You can really buy Trados very cheap. It will really be cheap for you and really affordable. Especially if you are struggling financially. I can really understand this because even when I wanted to get my Trados, it was not easy. But it's only through experience that I finally understood the best way to go about getting it at a reasonable price. Now, without further ado, it's good for us to go practically now to what we already want to develop today. That is, how do we use SDL Trados? Please, we are going to go about using it. The first thing we need to do, we are going to assume that we are really in a work setting. It means you have received the file from a customer and is asking you to translate the file. Once you receive the file from a customer, please, as an organized translator, the first thing you need to do is to download the file. You go to your desktop. Let me share my desktop with you. As I go to my desktop, if you look here, you will see that I'm having a subfile that are created here. And as you can see, the name of the subfile here is File English to French. That's the name I gave to the file. Once I create that subfile, the file I got from the customer that he asked me to translate, I need now to save it inside that subfile, please. And you need to have a notebook so that you know exactly what you receive, what is the deadline and so forth, the other details, as you are going to see in the other video, how to organize your work. But here we are mostly precisely talking about how to use Trados. Once you have saved your file, you just need to bring up your Trados. This is my Trados I've opened. Once your Trados is open, please, you just come and click here where you see File. My Trados is in French. Meaning you just click on File, here is Fichier. In short, I just assume that as a translator, you must master French. In case you are translating, maybe let's say from English to French to English. You just click on File. In my case here is Fichier. Once you click on File or Fichier, you need now to come down this way, and then you see where they say traduire un seul document. In this case, it's translate a single file or translate a single document. Once you get translate a single document or translate a single file, you click on it. Once it has opened, they will now open your laptop to ask you where is the file located. The file you would like to translate, where is it? You just come back now to your desktop and you double click on the desktop. Once you're in the desktop, as we said, I named this file File English to French. I just locate the subfile English to French and then I double click on it. Once I double click on it, it will open the subfile. And now we get the file, or let's say the file the customer sent to me. I just double click on it. Once I double click on it, I wait for Trados to load the file I'm about to translate. And you see a new window just pop up. Once it pops out, I need now to select the languages, because when you are translating, you need to translate from a source to target language. In this case, the customer sent me an English document and he would like to receive it in French. And in this case, the population they are targeting, in case of the translation, they are people that are mostly with the French variant. It means I will come here and see where they say language source. That is language source. That is what they call target language. As I said, my Trados is in French. Language source, if your Trados is in English, it will be source language. I just come at the corner here, this arrow, and I click on it. And I have to look now for English. In this case, the document they send is English, United Kingdom. I come now and select English, United Kingdom. I come now at the level where they say langue cible. This is now the target language. I'm translating the language from English to what? In this case, I said the customer needs the file in French, and the variant is French France. Meaning that in langue cible or the target language, I'm going to click on the arrow also, and then I just put, and now it will now take me to French. And in this case, I said it was French France. I just click on French France, and you open the window now. Will now show me now where I need now to create my translation memory. Let me just try to elaborate a bit about translation, especially for those who are completely new in the field of translation. When we are talking about translation memory, abbreviated TM, is where any file you translate gets stored. Because when you are translating, you are having segments after segments. When you translate them, the aim of using a CAT tool, like in this case Trados, is that any sentence you translate or any file you translate gets stored in your TM. But it will not really be stored automatically. You need to create your TM. Meaning that to do so, you just come where they say créer une mémoire de traduction. If you are in English, it will be, you are traduced in English, it will be create a translation memory. Once you are there, you just click on the arrow, and once the arrow pops up, please select the first. Just click on the first selection where they say créer une mémoire de traduction, that is create a translation memory. Once I click on it, I wait. A new window will pop up. Once it pops up, there are some fields where you are going to see asterisks. Those ones, you must fill them. One is where they say nom, that is the name. And this name they're asking you is the name of the TM. You need not to give the name of the TM. And please keep in mind that the name of the TM should be unique. It means that if, for example, I name the TM, let's say TM1, I cannot name again another TM1. I must maybe name TM2 or TM whatsoever. But in this case, we are going to call this one TM1. Let's call it TM1. At the level of emplacement, that is, where will the TM be located? Usually, automatically, they select your documents. Where your documents is. Where you go there, you will see Studio 2021 translation memory. Automatically, they will be stored there. Now, they will now reprecise to you langue source, that is source language. Do you confirm that you selected English United Kingdom? Yes, that's what we selected. We leave it. Langue cible, that is the target language. Do you confirm that it's French France? Yes, we leave it. Mean that once you confirm that everything is okay, you need not to come and click on terminer. That is, if it's in English, you will click on what? You click on close. Mean that let me click on close. Mean that when I click now on close, another window will pop up, and then you will see now that they say création de mémoire de traduction terminée. That is, creation of translation memory is over. And I'll click again on fermer, that is close. Let me click again on close, and this other window now will appear. Once this window appears, the only thing you need to do is do what? You click on OK. Let me click on OK. Once I've clicked on OK, I just need to wait now for Trados to open the file. Trados is loading now the file, opening it for us. Once the file is open, please, the first thing you need to do is to save your Trados file. This is what they used to call clip file. You need to save this Trados file. And to do so, what do? You just come where you had that fichier or file, and just on top of it, you are going to see something that is just like a meta. If you put your mouse on top, you will see something pops up. They say enregistrer le document. That is save the file. You need to click on that meta. Once I click on it, a new window will pop up, and then they will bring up now your laptop to say that where do you need to save this Trados file you are about to translate. Obviously, I'm going to select again the sub file where I save the file I'm translating to avoid confusion. If not, it's going to save anywhere in your laptop and you get lost in the run, especially when you start getting files upon file to translate. Mean that I just go back to my desktop or my bureau. In my case, I click on the desktop, and then I go now and look now for the sub file. In our case, we remember the name was File English to French. I double click on it. Once I double click, I need now to just click on enregistrer. As I said, all my things here are in French. I just click on save. Once I click on save, my Trados file is saved, and it's saved alongside the file I received from the customer to translate. Then you can now begin the process of translating now the file. Now note that when you would like to translate, please, you need to use online dictionaries. As we said, we are no longer in the age where to translate files, you will need to be carrying a big dictionary, holding in the hand to use word for word to look this word. No, you need to open your online dictionaries. In my case, there are some dictionaries I've been using for years, for more than these 10 years, and they have really proved to really be really practical and to really make me work faster and accurately. Let me open my browser. In this case, you see this is my browser open here. One of the dictionaries I've been using, that is, one of them is called My Memory Translated. And this is a dictionary that is really powerful. Another one beside it I'm using most often is called Reverso. Don't overbother about this, because the guide that I asked you to get under is having the links to these free dictionaries. They are free online dictionaries that you can use. Most often I use Reverso first, except it does not really give me something that is really tending to what I intend before I will move to my memory. But one thing you should keep in mind is that even though you are having an online dictionary, that does not exclude the fact that you should still do your work as a translator. Because as you are going to even see in the next session, where you may receive a Trados file that has already been pre-translated by the customer, you still need to bring that human input, because this machine, no matter what they do, they will never replace a human. That is why we are still valuable. I mean, I will go now back to my Trados and bring it up. I will take now this first segment. As you can see in this column, I'm having the English column, and on this other side I'm having now, this is the target column. Mean I have to translate from this column in English to the French column. Mean that to translate easily, I will just try to be piling up small paragraphs. For example, I will carry this first segment along with the second segment, along with the third segment, along with the fourth segment, the fifth segment, and then the sixth segment. It should also be too big. If not, the Reverso dictionary will reject it. I just post it on this first segment and then Control V, I paste it there. Then I try to arrange it in a paragraph. I mean, I bring it back here, I put a plus. Then I bring back this one, I put a plus. Then I click here, I bring this one, I arrange it in a paragraph. I bring it here. Then I bring it here. Yes, I think I've tried to arrange it in a nice paragraph. Then I just try to copy it. I copy it. Then I go back now to my online dictionary, that is my Reverso. In this case, the language, that is the source, was Italian. I have to replace it. I just click on the arrow and then I wait, it should pop up. Then I will select now English, because the file I receive is in English. I select now English. In this case of the source, I don't need to change because it's already French. I just leave it French. I mean, I just come where they say type the document, the paragraph I would like to translate. I just need now to right click and then coller. I paste it and I wait. It will just translate on its own. I don't need to do anything. Once you paste it, it will translate. I mean that once the translation is over, I just need to copy it, and then I go back to my Trados, and then I replace this one. And I will be not, I remove this one. I take now the different paragraphs. I mean that this was the first paragraph. I take this one. I will be propagating in the paragraphs that I just took to make that big paragraphs progressively. I'm just pasting them progressively. I just paste them progressively. Just copy and be pasting progressively. Just be pasting progressively. Move progressively. Just be moving progressively until I will be over. Posting progressively. Yes, I think I carried up to paragraph 6. Mean that once I've propagated them, I didn't have to proofread them, because as we said, please, these online dictionaries are just there to help us to do our translation. But as translators, we still have a big work to play. We are the ones to bring that human touch to the translation. Now let's start now our proofreading work, because beside being translators, we are also proofreaders. We have to really make sure that it's error-free, because keep in mind that the customer will pay you only once he approves your work. That you need to do something that is really first class. Let's take the first one. They say Trump has turned his back on the foundation of US economy might. The fallout will be messy. They say Trump a tourné le dos au fondement de la puissance économique américaine. Les conséquences seront désastreuses. Remember, I added a full stop here at the end. I just need to remove it. Once you are okay with a segment, and I see that this one is okay, you just need to come up here. You will see a place where you have something like a pencil just on top of where they say confirmé. If it's in English, it will be confirmed. You have a pencil there. Mean that when I click inside that segment that I see is okay, you click inside, then you come where you have confirmé, you just click on the pencil. Once I click on the pencil, look at this pencil here. You will see that this pencil is somehow light blue. Now let's see now what happens when I click on this pencil on top of confirm. You have noticed something here, that this pencil now became green, confirm. You see, and if I click inside that segment, what do you notice up here? You notice up here now that they are now showing me that translation. They show it in English and in French. This one now is confirming to you that really the TM, or the translation memory you created, is active. Meaning that this segment has already been registered inside my translation memory. And what is the advantage of the translation memory is that in the future, if ever Trados detects a sentence again like this one, automatically is going to just propagate it. It will just propagate, so you don't need to retranslate it. Meaning that I finished with the first segment. I move now to the second segment where they say President Donald Trump has built another wall and he thinks everyone else is going to pay for it. Le président Donald Trump a construit un autre mur et il pense que tout le monde va payer pour cela. For me, it's okay. It's okay. As we already said, now I click inside and just come and click on my pencil. Now let me read again in English. But his decision to impose sweeping tariffs on a list of at least 10% on almost every product that enters the US is essentially a wall designed to keep work and jobs within it, rather immigrants out. Now, in French, now it says, mais sa décision d'imposer des droits de douane draconiens d'au moins 10% sur presque tous les produits qui entrent aux États-Unis est essentiellement un mur conçu pour garder le travail et les emplois à l'intérieur, plutôt que d'exclure les immigrants. For me, it's okay, 100% okay. As confirm it, read the next one. The height of this wall needs to be put in historic context. La hauteur de ce mur doit être replacée dans son contexte historique. 100% okay. I click confirm. I move to the next. It takes the US back a century in terms of protectionism. Il fait reculer les États-Unis d'un siècle en termes de protectionnisme. When they say it and they say il, I'm seeing that it's good for us to correct this because they say it takes. They are talking here about the measures he took. You see, no, I mean that it would be better to put cela. Cela fait reculer les États-Unis d'un siècle en termes de protectionnisme. Yes, the correction is okay. I'll move to the next. It catapults the US way above the G7 and G20 nations into levels of customs revenue associated with Senegal, Mongolia, and Kyrgyzstan. Il catapulte. No. The measures he took, we say, cela catapulte les États-Unis bien au-dessus des pays du G7 et du G20 dans des niveaux de recettes douanières associés au Sénégal, à la Mongolie et au Kyrgyzstan. Excellent, I confirm. And you see how simple it is. And that is what I'm going to do with the remaining file. But now you have this part. Why do you see these colors? These colors are what we call tags. And when you have tags, please, make sure that they come back to the target segment. Let me just take one case here, like this one. If I just translate this, I put it here without the tags, you make that the formatting of the file will not really be the same from English to French. Mean that to do so, you just click here, and once you have clicked on the target where you have the tag, you just come at this level where you were having that pencil that is confirmé. You will see a small green arrow there, that first green arrow. You click on it, that is to carry from the source to the target. And then now you can translate now this one where they say follow live. I mean, I just go now and translate my follow live. Let me copy it. I go back to my dictionary. Then I replace this one to translate now follow live. They say suivre en direct. I will just copy it. I go and replace. Now this level, I will not copy that. I will not start directly where you have FY, because usually sometimes you put it there, you will turn this one to become black. I will come where I have the O, I put it here, and then I replace it. I now replace the is capital letter. I cancel this one, I cancel this one, I come back. Don't forget I have double dot here. In French now I have to now arrange it, because in French we know when we have the double dot, I have to put what we call espace séquent. I put now the space, and then I confirm the segment. See, if I click on it, you see we appear in the translation memory. And that is just how you go about translating the whole file. You see, translate the whole file right to the end. Once you are over, you need not to do what? You need not to generate the translated file. And we assume that we have gone through, because I already showed you people detailing how to do it. Once you have finished the translation, you need not to generate the translated file. How do you do so? Very simple. To generate the translated file, you just come back where you had fichier, or if you are traducing in English, it will be file. You just click on fichier. I click on it, and then I move down. You see where they say enregistrer la cible sous. If your trados is in English, you will be save target as. You click on save target as. When I click on it, save target as, I wait. It's going to open automatically the sub file where the file I'm translating is. And then I just come at the level of where they say nom du fichier, that is name of file. Please, I advise you to always come there and click, put a small space and add something. Because if you don't add something, you just save directly, it is going to crush the mother file, that is the file you receive from the customer, and you may need it again in the future. It is always good to come and put a space, and you can put a capital key, then you put a maybe like FR, just a small symbol, so that it's going to save this translated file on its own. Once I've put a symbol, I just come and click on enregistrer. If your trados is in English, you'll be safe. I just click on it. You see, once you have clicked on it, please don't forget that as you are doing your work progressively, it's true Trados saves your work automatically, but always be having the reflex that you always click on the meta. Don't forget that meta. Always be clicking on the meta on your own, so that you can be saving whatever you are doing progressively. Let me now lower my Trados and go back now to my dictionary. I go back now to my sub file. Let me open it. That is file English to French. I've opened it. As you see, this is my file. This is the file I received from the customer. It was file English. And you see, when I saved down my Trados file, this is it. This is how it looks like, especially for those who are completely new. This is how it looks like. And then, this is now the file you see I translated. And this is just part of it, because we do not translate all. I just wanted to show you people how to go about doing it. Now, I just need to do what I open it. Once it opens, this is it. You see now that you're having that part that we translated into French. It's already there. Don't forget that when you finish your translation, you still need to be your own proofreader. It means that even though we corrected on Trados, you still have to come back here and do another proofreading to go thoroughly to make sure that the file is error-free, please. Because customers, they don't joke with that. When you send them jobs, it should really be top. As translators, we need to be meticulous. You do a thorough correction here. When you see that it's 100% okay, you save it. You save. And once you have saved it now, it's ready to go to the customer. And then, okay, you should not forget, please, that once you have checked everything is okay, you should save your work, and then you can now send to the customer. But now the question now that will now be there is that, you see, this is the foundation of how to go about translating with Trados. Yet, once you have really done all of this, there are other questions still. When you create your translation memory, this is your local translation memory. If the customer maybe had part of the work that was translated, some of them will send you their own TM. And when they send their own TM, it means you have to use it. You must use their translation memory. How do you do that? Another thing also, when you have finished the job, how do you arrange it back to send back to the customer? This is another thing also that we need to also handle. And also, when you have done some jobs in the past and they were stored in your local TM, you will not be going to retranslate those segments. When you open your Trados, there are some features there that are going to help you to be able to automatically propagate those parts so that you just remain with some part to translate. How do you do that also? Please, just click on the link under, and then you'll be able to see those other details thoroughly, how you go about doing that. And beside this, Trados is not the only CAD tool that we use. As I said last time, I will also handle another video where I'm going to go detailing how to use another popular CAD tool. And that one is interesting because, unlike Trados, it is a free CAD tool. The only condition you need is that you need internet because it's an online CAD tool. They call it SmartCAD. And the SmartCAD is very easy to use. I'm going to also break down SmartCAD as far as I can go so that you can be able to really see how to use it in case for now you cannot be able to afford to get Trados. You can already be ready to use that one. Please, once again, the other details that are essential to use Trados completely, just click on the link under. You'll be able to get more details on this. And also don't forget to click the like button to show your appreciation for this breakdown, so that you really, even if you were somebody that was complete beginner, at least you have an idea how to go about at least starting to use Trados. And as I said once again, don't forget please to click on the link below. It's going to get you the free guide that is going to complement the other parts, so that from there we'll be able now to break down completely how to use Trados. All the other aspects of this training will be more elaborated there, and even the other CAD tools that we can use in the future. Thank you once again, and I really appreciate if you take time to post any comment under, because there may be some aspects that are still clouding your mind. There is no issue with that. Just put the comment, and as I look over them, I will see how all this can be addressed so that really you can really be able to have that mastery over this essential tool that, as we said, you cannot really go without, please. Many companies, it's a must. You have to use Trados. You cannot do without. Once again, thank you very much. And you can just click at the corner of this video to get the next video that is going to bring that breakdown on how you can really be able to use SmartCAD, to really be able to use it for